Sonic Prime Season 2 is finally here, and if all the recent hype around the Sonic brand wasn't enough, Netflix decided to add some fuel to the fire and throw on Sonic Prime Season 2's trailer into the equation. In this video, we're gonna go on ahead and take a look at all the details and break down what this brand new trailer has to offer. And so we begin right where we left off. Season 1 ended off with Shadow thrusting a punch towards Sonic in the Shadowverse Void, and the show just ended right there. This trailer actually shows the fist contact, where Shadow's punch has sent Sonic flying down the void, crashing into various shards floating around. Shadow narrates that Green Hill no longer exists, and it's all Sonic's fault. So, from this scene here, it looks like it took Shadow to break through Sonic's thick skull to finally have him realize that his actions have serious consequences, whereas moments before, during the season finale scene, Sonic was still playing around and saying he just wants to go home, as if he doesn't feel responsible, also having lost some fighting spirit. This trailer shows that we are in for a treat. Sonic's gonna have some great character development. We can tell by the facial expressions, voiceover tone, and motives that Sonic genuinely wants to fix what he's done. No more games, it's time to get serious. Something else this trailer communicates very well is the fact that Sonic and Shadow will be teaming up for this season to restore the world. And this is quite interesting here. So Shadow claims that Green Hill no longer exists, yet here we are in Green Hill. Although what I will say is something is very off here. The lighting of Green Hill is off, so can we really even call this Green Hill? Very curious to ask what has caused the colors to die out, why the residents of Green Hill are translucent. Did Shadow perhaps mean Green Hill is disappearing? That could very well explain it. When Sonic falls into this dying Green Hill flat on his face, we can notice that his gloves and shoes are once again different. Throughout the past, his gloves and shoes would adapt to the environment, giving him a new ability, and once more, here we have a new glove and shoe design. So these ones are gray with brighter lines going across them. I'd actually like to propose a theory in saying, I don't think these will equip Sonic with any sort of new ability. I think the gray symbolizes all power and spirit is lost, and the lines almost feel like cracks, as in, like, I'm broken. Plus, we have a scene of Sonic looking at his hands while saying, how do I fix this? So I don't believe he'll have any abilities in this dying world. Ergo, if this world is dying, so are his abilities. Shadow takes Sonic up to the original Shadow Space location while narrating, every Shadow Space contains a shard, creates a distorted version of our reality. If we bring them back here and connect them to this real one, then maybe there's a chance. We then get some awesome new shots of the cast. First off is Dredd, and it appears he has escaped with the shard, which is where we last left off with him. And I wonder how this will work. Shadow said that we need to collect all the shards and connect them to the real one. So will Dredd hand this shard over, or will there be some conflict afoot? We then have Thorn. Then a scene with Nine, looking like he just gave all these robots in the background a good whoopin'. Now, here's where things get dicey. It looks like the Council has manipulated their way into the Shadowverse Void. So it looks like Sonic and Shadow are gonna have to work against the clock in order to collect all the shards before the Council does. In this scene, we find Nine's spaceship getting ready for liftoff on this Shadow Space terrain. And I believe this is the blank Shadow Space that Nine has claimed and wished to start over in this world. But anyway, things get even worse because it appears that the Council has an advantage and are winning. So on their spaceship, we can find Dr. D firing up Nine's portal technology and creates this portal right here. And as to where this leads, we have no idea yet. But we see into a few shadow spaces like the jungle and the pirate ones, and see that Robotnik's dictatorship is spreading into these shadow spaces. So it's only a matter of time before they seek total control over every shadow space. Now, this portion is quite confusing. So we have a close-up of Sonic's shoes, and they are just in his regular pair. However, they appear to transform into the gray version with the lines through them. So I'm very intrigued to see this scene and how it fits in, because upon first impression here, it looks like Sonic fell into dying Green Hill with these designs active. But on the contrary, his gloves remain regular in this scene. Remember the season 2 teaser images? Well, well, this scene right here should be a trigger warning. So one of them specifically has shown Shadow pinning Sonic onto the ground underwater, and stealing one of Nine's regulators he's installed on Sonic's gloves and shoes. And what have we here? Shadow installing one of the regulators onto his glove. Anyway, we have a couple more shots of some characters in the respective shadow spaces of Rouge, Big the Cat, and Knuckles. And they all appear to be firing something, so this signifies that our good guys will be fighting back, and won't let the council take over their respective worlds either. Speaking of which, we have New York City's Rouge saying, "This is bigger than you, Sonic. If you fail, we're finished." Once again, with the facial expressions, Sonic is showing that he's changed, and now greatly cares and understands the consequences. Okay, now check this out. Some robots are unleashed, seeping their way into the shadow spaces to destroy any resistance. And it appears that Rusty Rose has joined the good guys once again. Hopefully, this time permanently, having a bond between both of the two Amy's, in what is looking like an absolutely epic fight scene. So it appears that Dr. D will be taking on the Pirate World, and Dr. Babel will be taking on the Jungle World, which is what we can tell so far. So it looks like when Sonic returns to all the past shadow spaces, he'll get his previous abilities back. Like, here's New York City's design returning, as well as the jungles. We continue with Shadow saying, "They're not your real friends," referring to all the alternates. However, Sonic rebuttals with, "Nine and all the rest of them are real," showing Sonic still will not turn his back on his alternative friends. Saying that while the trailer's flashing through all of the Tails alternates, showing that, as we know, Tails is Sonic's closest friend, and is most important to him. I also wanted to go on ahead and take note that in this scene, it looks like on the treetops, Thorn is up there talking to everybody. It is unclear if she'll be friendly with them since, after all, she is holding her hammer, but who knows, only time will tell. All starts to go south when Sonic gets surrounded by Robotnik's forces. As he threatens, "Hand over the shard or say goodbye to your friends." This made me think, does Robotnik have something up his sleeve to erase all the alternates? And if so, how would that not affect him, since he himself, along with his council, are all alternates? This really cool scene comes up with the council's ship blasting a missile at Sonic, who's holding the shard in question while running away over the water. And this absolutely wild Matrix scene initiates and flies right over Sonic's nose. We then have some peeks into some fight scenes in New York City and the jungle. Sonic doing an excellent job at dodging all these attacks, but back in New York City, it appears that somehow Dredd was brought here and is falling off this edge, and Sonic needs to head down to save him. Now, this bit is pretty cool, as the Council's ship takes use as a submarine, and as revealed in Season 1, Green Hill is located underwater in the pirate world, as there is a shred of Green Hill featured in every shadow space. And we get this absolutely stellar shot of the loop underwater. Sonic then proclaims, "If you want this shard, you're gonna have to get it yourself." And he runs away, showing that surrender isn't in his schedule at all. Up next we have the shot of Dredd. He appears to be at the controls of something. As our perspective is way too close, we don't know what he's piloting. This could either be a ship or mech of some sort. There is a very significant part upcoming, so as Sonic and Shadow do, somewhere down the line, they'll come across a disagreement upon one another, and ergo get into a big fight. Here they spin dash into each other and fly around fighting each other. Something I did want to mention is if you pause at a good angle, you'd find here that this is a point where Shadow was installed one of the regulators onto his glove. Anyway, one of the past teaser images are shown in action here, and as Sonic would say, gotta go fast, as the trailer comes to an end. But before that, it appears that New York City has a dark secret it's been hiding throughout Season 1, and that secret is teased very well in this trailer. So this door opens up, and this figure emerges from the steam. Sonic asks, "Nine, is that you?" So this confirms this is an area of an episode where Nine is once again separated from the group. However, it appears that Knuckles and Rouge are just as surprised upon finding out that this figure is no less than a roboticized Sonic the Hedgehog, as this figure lifts its head and powers on. So it looks like Sonic and it has a foot race to see if this figure is really Sonic. And it most certainly is, as he can rival Sonic's speed and appears to be just as cocky as he is, while outrunning him and waving. At first glance, before this thing powered on, I legit thought this was Metal Sonic. You know, the Metal Sonic we've seen in the comics, the 1996 animated movie, and the list goes on. That'd have been pretty cool, however, wouldn't make much sense in the lore, how he's been stored in New York City all this time. However, one could argue that this is Metal Sonic, both having red eyes and this yellow circle on the chest. However, I just think the overall design is far too different to be considered Metal Sonic. The hands, the face, the legs, the shoes, the head shape. So yeah, I personally don't believe this is Metal Sonic. But nonetheless, whatever this is, it does appear to be the Rusty Rose equivalent to Sonic the Hedgehog in this world. Let me know what you guys think of this trailer in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. If you did, let me know, leave a like rating on the video. Thank you very much for your support. Subscribe for more videos from me. And speaking of which, if you'd like to see other Sonic Prime videos I've done, there's a playlist for that currently sitting on your screen. Or maybe if you'd like to see some other content from me, you can check out some SpongeBob Cosmic Shake Let's Play videos also currently sitting on your screen.